Jay Motty here for Stretford, Paddock, and it's my favourite time of the week again. It is the Academy Review with my good friend David Pritt. How are we doing, brother?
Could be better, couldn't it?
Could be better, yeah.
Could be better.
I don't know why I'm smiling, because it's been a pretty glum start to the week so far with all the Super League talk. But forget about all that, sort of, for a bit. We're going to talk about Manchester United's Academy, including the under-23s, the under-18s, and our players that are out on loan as well. Dave, what have you got for me? What are we starting with?
Well, we're starting with the 23s, but you sure you don't want to talk about the Super League? Because it might be more cheerful than this.
I don't like... So I don't say this the wrong way. I don't like looking at your face in a minute, Dave, because you give me bad vibes. What's going down?
Yeah, so Friday night, under-23s away at City, Derby.
Get stuck into these blue, the
I was
rest.
thinking, United, they're not a bad team. Just totally outplayed completely. It was dreadful. Well, I'm going to say dreadful. Yeah, City got in about 15th minute or so, got a goal. Adozie, I think he's called.
Who cares?
Yeah, scores. City all over us.
Adozie,
I think that's his name. Manstey, the goalkeeper, kept us in it. It could have been 3-4-0 at one point. We grew a little bit, but City was on top, completely on top. They managed to get it to 1-0 at half-time. And you're just thinking, 1-0. It could have been much worse. Start the second half a bit stronger, but yeah, that didn't happen. And made a really good left foot strike by Palmer for City. Really was a nice goal. Nothing Masty can do about it. It was just a great strike. And then Fernandez, he misses the ball. That Palmer gets onto it again, scores another 3-0. And the only real chance we had, which was a bit bizarre, Elanga was playing on the right, even though he's better. I think he's better on the left. But he picks the ball up on the left and does his usual Elanga thing, running down the wing, cuts inside. And as a shot, but the keeper makes a save. It would have been a great Elanga goal, but yeah, good save by the City keeper. But that's basically all we did. I mean, it was dreadful. It really was dreadful. Ruined my Friday night. Well,
it's against Manchester City, and all I'm going to say about that is, Pep does have them doctors, doesn't he? So you never know. Maybe, I'm not insinuating anything. I'm just saying. That's all I'm going to say. You can make it out what you will. Not the result you wanted. Performance-wise, you mentioned Elanga there. Any other players that sort of stood out, or was it just literally Andy Elanga? And
we're missing Galbraith. How I feel about him. He's still suspended. I don't know if he's got one more game left, or he's back the next one. I don't know what it is, but it's not great. It's 3 losses in a row now.
Yeah.
And in the past 4 games, it's without a win. I think we drew and then had 3 losses in a row. It's not good.
What's going wrong, Dave? Because these are obviously you've got some good players there. What is it?
It's just a young squad, and I think it's could be a bit more physical. City were just a better team that day, but with short on players, a lot of them they're still playing in the under-18s as well. It's a mixture of things, but in the past that team would have had a few 22-year-olds in it and stuff like that. But it's still a relatively young squad, and it was very similar to when we played Chelsea away. We just got outplayed and.
A City, a good team in that league.
City, a good team.
And they've got some players that are sort of, you expect to go on to big things sort of thing.
Well, it's City, so you don't know, do you?
Yeah,
they might do with other clubs, but you don't know if they're going to do it with City.
Well, they're not going to do it with City. We do know the answer to that. Yeah. They've been dining out on Phil Foden for about 4 years. Look at our academy, literally one player in about 3 decades. Well done.
He's a good one, though.
Yeah, he's all right. He's no Mason Greenwood. Right, okay then. Well, enough said about that. It doesn't matter. We go again. What's the next one?
So the under-18s travelled to Newcastle.
Give me some good news, Dave.
Well, there was a little bit positive in it.
Yeah.
But it didn't start off that well. The left back for Newcastle just gets it, does a bit of a mazy run, pass it into the box, and it's put in for 1-0. Not great. Then second half, I'm trying to think how it worked now. The midfielder chipped it over the defence to the striker, and then he chipped it over the keeper for 2-0. And it was, it was like, we're 2-0 down. It was very similar to like the City, not in a way we were outplayed, but the fact that we'd conceded in the first half and then second half went to 2-0. We didn't sort it out, but we got one back. Hugerworth had a shot that was blocked. Falls to Zidane Iqbal, who come off the bench. He swivels. He's facing behind the goal. He swivels, kicks it, and gets a goal back, which was nice. And then McNeil he was in like the right winger position, crosses it in for Hugerworth, who's at the back post, heads it in for 2-2. Thinking, yeah, that's back in this. Let's get the winner. But the 89th minute, Newcastle decided they wanted the winner and got the 3 points. And unfortunately now that means that City have got a game in hand over us and are 2 points behind us. So if they win their game in hand, they'll go a point above us.
Well, no one will care about any of these leagues soon anyway.
It's true. You are correct in that way. I mean, I was saying to this off camera. I mean, how are these players now? If we do go into this Super League, how are these players looking to get into that? You know, to me, it looks like it's like the Galacticos of leagues. You know, it's going to be the best clubs, is it?
Yeah.
With the best players, and they're all going to be superstars. So our players who are playing in the 18s or even the 16s looking up thinking, yeah, well, am I going to progress into this Super League? You got to remember, in these group stages and games where it didn't really matter, some people have made, like Diallo made his debut, Shoretire made his debut. You know, Alanga's been on the bench for these Champions League games. But if we go into this stupid Super League thing, will they be on the bench for that? Because they're playing. Yeah, it's just. I think a lot of academy players, and I think some of the coaches will be worried about this now.
It's a shame because me and you were just talking off camera and I was saying, you know, you potentially in a scenario where Mason Greenwood, who's just a ridiculous talent, could spend the next 15 years as a striker for Manchester United, score 300 goals and never play in a Champions League final. And never, you know, because we're not in it anymore. It does seem a little bit strange, and I get where you're coming from when you're saying like Shoretire and players like that have had the chance in the Champions League or the Europa League or whatever. And is that going to happen in this Super League if it all goes ahead? Is the Premier League going to be sort of diluted slightly so that maybe some of the youngsters get a chance in that, but it's not the standard that it would have been? I mean, it does seem like a bit of a shame, especially when you look at Manchester United, our history, going right back to the Busby Babes in the European Cup. What's gone on there? And now you're throwing all that down the Swanee and throwing some of these kids down the Swanee with it as well. It just doesn't seem right, does it?
It's not good as well because all these rumours about the Premier League, they'll kick players, people, you know, the teams out and internationals. At the end of the day, these players, kids want to play football, and they're thinking, well, if I join United, I'm not going to have the chance to play in the Premier League. I'm not going to have the chance to play for England or whatever country you're from. Are they best going to another team that are going to provide that for them? And yeah, it's worrying stuff at the moment. I mean, it's obviously early days, but yeah, I'm worried for our academy at the moment.
Saddens me to hear you say that, Dave, because you're always very positive. You're always sort of looking at some of the youngsters we've got coming through, the coaches that are coaching him. You're always quite happy about the way things are going. And then, like so many other people, but for maybe a little bit of a different reason, because you're more focused on the academy, you know, you're upset because of, and rightly upset, because of what's going on with this Super League nonsense. Well, it's not even nonsense anymore. It looks like it could be a reality. Hopefully, though, we'll say hope rather than expectation. We'll see things change, or we'll see some improvement in sort of these ideas, because I think, look at what UEFA have done with the Champions League, the reformat, that looks problematic anyway. And then you've got this Super League drama going on. I mean, it all just sounds like a right mess.
I just don't understand. I mean, it wasn't broken, the Champions League, was it?
Not really. No, I mean, you know, it was broken in the sense that United were crap in it.
Yeah,
but other than that,
but the format was... Yeah. Everyone's happy with it.
Yeah. I didn't really think it needs a wild card in it, or it needs, you know, to be one big league. No.
It's crazy.
Part of the sort of charm for me is the Champions League is the underdog teams. Part of the charm. I mean, Porto in 2004 absolutely infuriated me, and Paul Scholes' goal was onside, so we were robbed. But there's always that element in the Champions League, and the Dortmund in '97 again, another team. Why am I picking teams that did us? What was wrong with me? But there's always that thing of smaller teams have had a good chance of winning it. You get those trips away, don't you, as well? If you go to the games, you get all these different trips. And if you're going to sort of spoil it with some of these ideas that are being suggested or look like they could become a reality, yeah, it's a bit of a shame.
It's like me going as... my first and only European away game was we're going to Kazakhstan watching the Astana.
Yeah, the other one you don't. Yeah, certainly do the hard one, didn't you? Hey.
But things like, and I loved it. I wouldn't ever go to Kazakhstan normally. You know, going there, really had a great time.
You know, you normally go to Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan, it's autumn. It's fantastic.
But that's not going to happen again now, is it? If you're going to this Super League, it's the same teams each year. I mean, people are going to get bored of it.
Yeah.
People like the Champions League sometimes.
I don't want to play Spurs 4 times in season. It's better than playing them twice. Do you know what I mean? Or Arsenal.
Yeah.
What's all that about? Oh, it's the 4th Manchester derby this month. Who cares? You could play City or Arsenal or Spurs if you get them in the cups as well.
I know, yeah.
You can end up playing them like, 7 or 8 times a season? Might as well be Celtic, as someone said. Do you know what I mean? What is the point in that? It's just making a mockery of football, of English football, well, any football, to be honest with you. And it's a shame that some of these kids who are, doing well, doing what they should be doing, playing well, training hard, could end up missing out on what was an elite European competition that kind of worked.
Yeah, and also what mirrored the Champions League, and will still mirrors it, is the UEFA Youth League, whereas when United are playing their group stages, they've got the 3 teams they play against, the under-19s are playing their under-19s, and then once it goes to knockout, they go their own ways and it's drawn. That's going to stop for them if they do that. It's going to be, and everyone who talks about it, players, staff, they all love it. It's a great experience for them. And what they're going to do, the Youth Super League, and it's ridiculous. It really is. And like I say, I'm worried.
Mate, it just gets harder, doesn't it? Being a fan, a United fan or a football fan, it just gets harder. It's, you're not allowed in the grounds in a minute. We're all waiting to go back. And then whilst we're waiting, they tell us, oh, when you do come back, you're going to be watching this. And even if you don't go to the games, if you're just looking forward to seeing Manchester United competing in Europe, now you're going to have to watch us playing the same teams over and over. And there's no meritocracy there. You don't earn the right to get in it. You're in it already. It does seem farcical.
What's annoying is people who've look at it and who's saying it's a good idea. The kind of people who play FIFA every night and they're playing Liverpool against Barcelona and Bayern Munich against Chelsea and United against Madrid and saying, yeah, well, that's what I want in real life as well. Nobody wants that in real life.
I mean, winning the Champions League is special, right? We've only done it 3 times and every one of those was amazing. 68, 10 years after Munich. Busby lifting that trophy after what he'd been through. I mean, that doesn't touch you. You've made a stone. 99, the treble. Don't need to go into it anymore. Right? It was just one of the most iconic moments in sporting history. 2008, Moscow. And Nicky. Again, 50 years after.
The reason
Munich,
Moscow was so good was because of the way the league was as well, and the fact that Chelsea had all this money brought in, and they looked like they were going to start dominating the league again. United had to rebuild the team. Well, Fergie did, and we got to the final against Chelsea, and that's what made it special, being in the league and then going through the Champions League with him. If they were just, you're thrown against them anyway this week, it's not the same. No,
I agree, it's not. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't think it was that broke that it needed fixing. I know that's the Champions League, and then this whole Super League thing just stinks of the Glazers, doesn't it? Let's talk about something better.
Well.
Oh, God, Dave. Don't do this to me. Please tell me some of our loanees have done something that I can cheer about.
James Garner played 90 minutes for Nottingham Forest.
God for Jimmy Garner. How'd he get on?
They lost 2-0 and he was at fault for the first goal.
My God. He's the most reliable loanee ever. He's like David Beckham at Preston. He's man of the match every week. They call him Sergio Busquets. How has this happened? What is going on? Listen, I'm not going to criticise Jimmy Garner because he's mint.
He just had an off game.
He had an off day, yeah. And, you may blame him for that first goal, but I mean, I'm not that I've seen it and know anything about it, but I'm not. I think someone else was at fault.
Probably, yeah. You're probably right.
Yeah, it's the manager. The manager gave him duff tactics and he did what the manager told him to do, so you can't blame him.
Probably what it is.
Yeah.
In better news,
go on.
Ethan Laird
at MK Dons.
So on.
Yeah.
Played 90 minutes against 1-0 win against Portsmouth. They scored a penalty. He won the penalty.
So he won them the game.
Exactly.
Against former FA Cup winners Portsmouth.
Exactly.
So that is giant killing.
It's like he's won the FA Cup.
Perfect. Ethan Laird basically won the FA Cup this weekend. That is the story. That's the narrative we're going with on this channel. So he's played well again. Obviously winning penalties, getting into the box, getting down that right-hand side like we know he likes to. Doesn't play as a right back, does he?
No, it's like a winger. But looking at the Twitter feed of MK Dons throughout the day, he mentioned quite a bit. They were quite impressed with him. So,
listen, if Ethan Laird can come back to Manchester United next season, compete with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, or even offer him a bit of respite on that right back position, it'll be happy days because he's a player that the fans will love. It's just he's had injury problems, but if it looks like he's getting a decent run in MK Dons team, tough league as well. Hopefully, he'll put his injury problems behind him and become the player we all hoped and thought he could be.
On to Taif Chong, a bit another bad news. unused sub, 4-2 win for them, for Bruges, just not used at all. So don't really know what's going on.
That's the story of his career so far.
Well, he's been getting time, but this week nothing.
Mate, you don't want to look too much into that, but it does seem with Chong, there's always ups and downs with his loan spells. He obviously went to Werder Bremen, was doing really well initially, then wasn't really getting the teams, gone to Bruges, as you said, was doing okay at first. Now, he's not got any minutes, not the end of the world. He's still only young, but I don't know with Chong. We always talk about it, don't we?
It doesn't look great for him at United, but who knows?
We'll see.
Yeah,
hopefully. I mean, he was the one everyone was raving about a few years ago, weren't he? In that crop of youngsters.
Well, he was a great. I mean, from when I watched him, 18s and 23s, even the youth league and stuff like that, he was really good play on the right. But
am I oversimplifying it to say he's too slight? He's too thin.
I don't know. Has
he put a bit on?
Yeah, when we had that pre-season game at Old Trafford, when I can't remember who they played, but I think they might have played each other and just wore the away. And I remember it was like in the summer. He looked like he had his hair tied back.
Don't give the Glazers ideas. That'll be the new league they create. We play each other once every week.
And he looked like he put on a bit of muscle, and he looked a bit stronger, but it's hard to say because, like I say, I've not seen.
I mean, Jesse's very slight. Marcus is pretty slight.
Yeah,
I mean, we've got muscle, but in terms of
he was like a rake, but I think he's put some on now.
So anyway. I'm just oversimplifying his question, but listen, hopefully he'll get more game time at Bruges and be the player that everyone used to rave about because he was one of the most spoken about youngsters in Europe at one point. He really was. Any more?
Yeah, Deschamps Bernard, who's at Salford City.
Right. Give me some good news with Deschamps Bernard because last time I spoke to you, Gary Bowyer looked like he didn't even know who he was.
He played 90 minutes.
Yes, there we go.
At right back.
Oh. Well.
But he still played.
And he played.
I think the fact that he played right back, maybe they were just short on players and they played him, which is...
Or maybe they realised that right back is the most important position in any team and put him there for a reason.
They did have a clean sheet, 0-0 to Tranmere, so...
And without watching any of that game, I know.
I reckon all the attack came from the left-hand side as well.
He kept them in that game. It's good to see him getting 90 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
He had been dropped, Sanny, under Gary Bowyer.
Yeah, it's been a strange one where he's been playing in the middle of a three centre-back all season under Richie Wellens, being amazing, being team of the weeks. Wellens goes, Bowyer comes in, and it's like, yeah, we're not interested.
I like Gary Bowyer, but that seems a strange one. We'll wait and see what happens with Deschamps Bernard, but got 90 minutes this week. We just want these lads to get game time. I don't even look too much into it if some of the performances aren't what you hope because it's a learning curve. The most important thing is they're getting that match practice and they're getting that experience as well. So he was getting it under Richie Wellens and now hopefully he'll get more of it under Gary Bowyer.
We got Ted and Mengi. Not good.
I don't like the way you started that sentence because there was no enthusiasm or happiness in that. Go on, hit me with it.
He missed the game because he was injured,
right.
And it's broke today. Wayne Rooney's come out, said that he's gone back to United because he's not going to play for the rest of the season. His injury's not that bad, but he won't be able to play for the rest of the season.
Is this all connected to the injury then? Because he won't be fit enough to do it. Right, that's it.
But it's a shame because he's been doing well. It took him a while to get in that team, but he got in it and he's been doing well under Rooney. And
he's having no luck though, is he, Rooney? As an aside, it's not going right for him. I think they're 4 points above the relegation zone, but I think, is it Rotherham or wherever it is, has got 2 games in hand on him. I mean, they're in a bit of trouble.
So, yeah, they've lost a player. It's not going to be good for them. But fingers crossed, Tedden, he's a strong lad who'll be all right, and we'll see him again next season.
Do you want to see him at Old Trafford next season, or is it another loan spell?
Probably another loan.
Yeah.
It's just because of his age.
He's only a kid, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's 18, I think.
He just needs... Probably just give him a little bit more experience, maybe. I don't... Somewhere more competitive, maybe, and just to give him that challenge.
Yeah, fair enough. He's another one who raved about a lot of people. A lot of fans like Ted and Mengi. I know he's a defender, but he's a defender that sort of... You can have those sort of crowd-pleasing defenders, you know what I mean? That makes sense.
Yeah.
The sort of ones that we can all get behind and get stuck in, a bit of a leader and that sort of stuff. But hopefully, again, he'll get that experience and become a future Manchester United great. Who else have you got from your brother?
We got Palestri, remember him?
Facundo.
Yeah, he's came on in the 67th minute in a 1-0 win for Alvarez? You're
asking the wrong guy. You know what my pronunciation's like.
Yeah. He's got a bit of game time and that's good because I don't think he's had any for a couple of weeks. So
Yeah, it seems to. I don't want to use the term flat because it seems overly harsh on a young player, but after all the sort of excitement when he arrived, there was a bit of an unknown entity about him, but he got some games under 23s, did quite well, didn't he? Was it against City he scored, and everyone was like, get him in the United squad, and it's like, no.
Just give him a bit of time.
Yeah.
Like I said, these lads were brought in for the future, not for now.
Yeah, so we'll wait and see.
Yeah, of course.
As long as he's getting games and doing relatively well, then we should be happy. He's only a kid.
Of course. Dylan Levitt, all the way over in Croatia.
The Welsh wonder who's over in Croatia.
Played just over an hour in a 3-2 win in the Croatian Cup semi-final. So he's in he's in the final.
There's a sentence you didn't think you'd be saying a few months ago, eh? Dylan Levitt's in the Croatian Cup final. What is it? Yes. Oh, good stuff. Because like we said it a few times on this loan move, Dave. I know you do your own work, but I don't expect you to know a lot about this team and this league or this cup competition that he's in. It did seem very left field, but he is playing. He's getting games.
Like I say, he played just over an hour. That was midweek in the semi-final. Into the final now. But then at the weekend, they played Dynamo Zagreb. You know them.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Yeah, they got beat 1-0, which Zagreb are a good team. They've been in the Champions League. They've been in Europa League, so only a 1-0 loss to them. Not too bad. He played just over an hour again for them. So I think that's what they're doing with him at the moment. He's starting, and then they bring him off just after an hour.
It's fair enough. That's probably the right idea for a young player like that, especially as well, with the sort of the lack of a lot of game time he's had. He's not had loads of game time, has he, at the sort of professional level. So good to see him getting some games as well, and he's got some things to look forward to, both in Croatia and hopefully back in Blighty when he's there.
Then to finish off with Jacob Carney in goal in Northern Ireland.
You do love your Portadown, don't you, son? Hey.
So midweek, clean sheet, 1-0 win, 90 minutes again. I don't need to say 90 minutes. He's their keeper. He plays all the games.
Yeah.
Saturday, unfortunately, it was a 2-1 loss, but he still managed to get man of the match.
So it's obviously not his fault that it was a 2-1 loss. Unless they've done that thing where, when you're a kid and that, and you go like, you had a bit of a stink, give me man of the match. Tell me, go on. I don't think it was. I don't think they do that in the Northern Irish League. So he's playing well. Obviously, getting man of the match awards. We know you keep your eye on him, and the Portadown fans. I think you speak to a couple of them. Are happy with him.
I haven't spoken to him. I need to message him actually, find out exactly how he's doing again. But I'll do that for the next week. But
usually though he's
everyone seems to be happy with him, and the fact, like I say, you lose a game and you still get man of the match as a goalkeeper tells you everything you need to know about.
Sounds like it could have been an embarrassing score if it wasn't for your man Carney there. Dave, it's always a pleasure, despite the fact that
it was 2 losses.
2 losses.
Jimmy Garner hadn't made a mistake.
Jimmy Garner made a mistake.
Ted Mendy's injured.
You've got
Chong's not playing.
I mean, what is going on? It's all just not quite going according to plan. But they are young players. We've got some talented ones there as well, and I'm sure there's bigger and better things to come from all of them.
Yeah, so we've got a big game on Friday for the under-23s. We've got Chelsea. That's going to be tough. We got battered by him last time, so we're not in the best of form. So
this is what we do, though. We surprise people, right?
Yeah, we do. I hope you're right.
Regardless of that, you're going to be watching it, aren't you?
Yeah, and then 18s are on Saturday. We've got Wolves, which always a good game. Wolves United under 18s.
Good stuff. So you'll be back here next week and to talk us through that Chelsea game, through the Wolves game as well, and all the loanees and their games too. Dave, where can people find you?
Find me on Twitter at David J Pritt.
David J Pritt.
And Instagram is David Pritt, no J, because...
David Pritt, no J. So make sure you're finding or checking him out on his socials. He's got all the updates on the academy team, on the under-18s, under-23s, and the loanees as well. He's always keeping you posted there. You know where to find me, Jay Motty. This has been the Academy Review. Make sure you're hitting like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.